Hello mga katams! Nandito kami ngayon sa FEU para
Talakayin sa ating mga katamaraw na may kaalaman
Sa kung ano ba talaga ang People's Assembly. Tara at samahan niyo kami sa paghahanap ng mga katamaraw. Hi, are you familiar sa term na People's Assembly?
Oo naman. Familiar naman.
Okay, so ano ang katangian nito at paano mo masabing tunay ang People's Assembly?
Mahalaga yung sinasabi ni Martin Buber, isa siyang philosopher, yung concept na I daw relationship, na ang pakikipag-usap na sa tao, sa isa pang tao, ay nahahati sa dalawa. Yung I daw at yung I-it relationship. Yung isa, ginagawang commodity or object yung kinakausap niya. Pero yung isa naman, tinuturing niyang isang kapwa yung kinakausap niya. Mahalaga yun kasi tinitignan mo yung iba't ibang pananaw na mga kinakausap mo. Sa context naman, mahalaga yung may pakikipag-usap, yung pamahalaan doon sa mga representatives ng mga sektor. Kasi kailangan ito para makapakinggan yung mga boses ng mga sektor. Hindi lamang dapat sila nagpapakita tuwing halalan. Kaya doon natin pwede mo-consider kung gumagana nga ba talaga yung People's Assembly. Ikaw ba?
Sa akin naman, kailangan merong resolution sa dulo ng bawat meeting. Yung mga napag-usapan ay may lever o ngipin sa policies na ipinapatupad. Kasi kung wala, ang pagtatalakay sa mga issues at concern ay magiging walang kabuluhan.
Kung may isang issue o concern na dapat tugunan ng mga tao, ano ito at bakit kailangan bigyan ng pansin?
Sa tingin ko, trabaho. Yun dapat yung bigyan tuunan ng gobyerno. Mabigat, pero kailangan nilang pagsikapan yun. Kailangan din bigyan ng gobyerno ang mga manggagawa ng nakabubuhay na sahod. At para na naman makamit nila yung kanilang mga pinaghirapan. At kasama na din dito yung dekalidad na social services katulad ng medical care o pagamutan, pag-aaral o edukasyon, transportasyon, at disenteng pabahay. At marami pang iba.
Para sa akin naman, yung pagkakaroon ng dignidad ng tao, yung hindi siya naiiwan sa prosesong politikal, nabibigyan siya ng kaalaman tungkol sa kanyang mga karapatan tulad na lamang ng freedom of speech at payapang pamumuhay at iba pa. Pag nangyari kasi ito, mas magiging buo ang lipunan. Pagnanakaw ng kaban ng bayan ay mababawasan dahil alam na ng mga tao kung paano ang prosesong politikal.
Good day everyone! I hope everyone's fine today. How about you guys?
Actually, kakain na naman namin kanina.
Yes, goods din ako ngayon.
Alright, with that, let's formally start this interview. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Justine. I'm currently a second-year student in Far Eastern University in the course of Bachelor of Arts in Communication under the track of Digital Cinema.
Hello, I am Sheila and I'm currently fourth-year political science student.
And I am Achilles Ocorantes, your host for this segment. Our agenda for today is an overview and analysis of the concept of People's Council. And luckily for us, these two people here have personal experience in attending a People's Assembly in Quezon City. Do you guys have any insights about this?
So, we attended the City Development Council QC Assembly on the 27th of April. We were observers during that time to further see how the assembly takes off. So, yung involved dito sa assembly is the CDC members composed of all Quezon City's punong barangay, chairmans, sectors representatives, attorneys, foundations, vice mayor, and mayor itself.
The agenda of the CDC Assembly started with the introduction of Local Project Monitoring Committee, in which that formed committee will be tasked to check all of the LGU projects when it comes doon sa implementations nila. Meaning, yung mga projects na hindi natutuloy, bakit siya hindi natuloy? Yun yung task mismo ng committee. But during that specific agenda, several issues have been raised by the chairman of the Assembly, which is Mayor Joy Belmonte.
Okay. Were there any issues during these discussions, or?
So, the issue na nakikita ko is wala yung 6 na congressman. With that, it shows that there's a gap between addressing the issue between national government and local government ng Quezon City. Since Mayor Belmonte's concern is all the infrastructures within their jurisdiction must be introduced to its office. Kasi mini-maintain nila yung quality doon sa mga ginagawang establishment.
When it comes kasi dun sa mismong monitoring committee, yung monitoring committee will only check all the LGU projects. But how about the projects na pinapatayo ng mga national government? Part doon yung congresses ng QC or ng Quezon City. With that, it seems like the situation has always been a conflict in the past. Kaya itong assembly na to, we consider that specific agenda a challenge sa lahat. Kasi coordination siya mismo sa national government and sa local government unit. And we can say that almost all of the members of the councils agree dun sa ni-raise na concern ni Mayor Joy Belmonte. Dahil itong mga ni-raise na concerns kay Mayor Joy ay concerns mismo ng community of the Quezon City. All the punong barangays, chairmans, sector representatives, foundations. Ito yung mga usual na issues ni-raise nila sa LGU. But the LGU has no hands mismo dun sa mga project na pinapatayo ng NGO or national government rather. Yan.
Well, for the people who were there, right, were they able to speak freely? Because, sometimes issues arise. Maybe they don't want to talk because they're afraid of something. Maybe they're afraid of being part of a minority or like being, I guess, outcasted in a public space like that. So, yeah, were they able to speak their minds freely?
After the talk between the speaker and Mayor Belmonte, nagkaroon ng open forum wherein punong barangay representatives from different foundations and sectors gave their thoughts, clarification, and suggestions. Para sa akin, nakita ko na nire-representa ng mga punong barangay yung mga sectors nila. And ayun, nagkakaroon ng participation and deliberation during the assembly.
Gotcha.
Since the involved participants naman in the said assembly were an actual LGU officials in Quezon City. So they can really agree or give motion dun sa mga projects na inilalatag during that forum. For example, they had a right to craft at least 60 projects to be implemented in the next 3 years. Ito ay mga crafted na projects na mga members of the councils during the past assemblies. And another agenda rin ng assembly na yun ay yung promotion of MRT 11 in Quezon City connecting Caloocan to San Jose del Monte. Yung issue doon ay may 9 stations na ipapatayo sa Quezon City. So that's a time to promote yung MRT 11 sa mga members of the council ng CDC. And in which nag-give naman din sila ng motion to agree na ipatayo na yung MRT 11.
So during these people's assemblies, I'm starting to hear some ideas that I really like representation based off of the many different parties that were there, and participation from each and every one, and ample space to do it. That sounds a lot like the concept of deliberation, which I'm a big fan of because it allows us, people in a democracy, to be better at making decisions, or rather, we would have better control over the decisions that the government makes specifically for us. Since in our current form of democracy, we are stuck with just elections. That's basically the only time we get to make a decision. And I think it's a great thing that deliberation is visible. Would you guys agree? Yeah. Okay, I'm just saying. We're running out of time, so let's wrap this up real quick. I mean, these People's Assembly is, I think, a great concrete example of deliberative democracy, and it's right here in Quezon City, right? I have one final question for you guys, actually. Do you guys think that this type of deliberative democracy or this type of People's Assembly is something that other cities can use in the Philippines? And if so, what are the kind of issues that would have to be solved before other cities use this?
First of all, yes, it should happen in all the assemblies happening in our country to exercise rin yung deliberative democracy that we call. I mean, yung mga part of the people in the CDC Assembly in Quezon City, they can really give opinions. Halimbawa, again, yung example na kanina, MRT 11 promotion. Meron dong specific na punong barangay telling na paano yung mga nasa maralitang lungsod, yung mga part ng slum areas na patatanggal, idademolish yung mga kabahayan nila kapag once na naitayo yung MRT 11. But during that specific question, inacknowledge din yun ng mismong mga tao doon sa loob ng pulong. Yan. In answering din naman dun sa usapin ng paano pa yung mga dapat na ayusin in those assemblies. Usually kasi sa mga assemblies that we observed in QC, the floor should be given in lahat ng participants dun sa mismong forum to deliver yung mga inquiries nila, yung mga concerns, even yung mga demands and grievances nila. But the time allotted for these very limited lang. Yung chances and opportunities are very limited considering all the people needed to be accommodated.
I totally agree with Justine. Maganda rin yung pagkakaroon ng People's Council sa iba't ibang city dito sa or all around the Philippines. And for me, yung naging challenges dito sa assembly na ito is hindi kumpleto ang participants, lalo na yung 6 congressman, wherein part sila ng national government. And no one showed up, kahit man lang yung mga representatives nila. With that, nagkakaroon ng conflict kasi walang nagbe-bridge dun sa gap. At kahit man nagkaroon ng deliberation, the problem will still arise kasi hindi naman nila na-address yung concern na binibigay ni Mayor Belmonte. And the lack of presence ng congressman is a significant point dahil wala silang account to explain. Therefore, mahihirapang ayusin yung mga concerns.
I guess to end this, this type of thing is very useful, people coming together in order to solve problems, but I guess we're just hoping that the right people will show up. Thank you very much for this interview, and we'll take you over to Kael for any reactions concerning this whole interview over here. Thank you very much for watching.
Maraming salamat, Achilles. Bilang isa sa mga nakasama kong mapanood ng video kanina, I am joined here by Miss Maeve.
Thanks for having me, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions, okay? So, for the first question, as a citizen of this country, what are your insights towards the idea of having people's assemblies?
Well, personally, I think it's something we need more of. I'm a firm believer that a strong community makes for a greater life, and a strong community can really only start if people start communicating with one another. Now, if we're actively talking about how to make each other's lives better, that's when we start going places.
All right. So, based on the video presented earlier, no, what is the simplest way for you to describe on what happened on Quezon City's People Assembly?
People exchange ideas on how to solve problems in their community.
That's right. So that concept is called deliberation. No? So, in these types of deliberations, would you personally attend these types of assemblies?
I personally don't attend. It's hard to find these types of assemblies where I'm from, and personally, I don't feel like I'd have any good ideas to contribute because I don't know enough about my area's issues.
All right. So, giving that in mind, what would convince you to take part in these types of assemblies?
If there is one that's easy to get to in my area, and probably if someone I knew is either with me or would be one of the people presenting an idea, I feel like I'd be more comfortable if I eased into it by having someone I know with me to share my thoughts with.
Got it.
Wait, tapos na yun? Meron pa ba? Ito na.